Yes, sir, man. Come on, man. All right, we back with another reaction. First, go ahead and like up the video for a young brother. Go ahead and handle that up. I give you some time. Now today, man, we got the top silliest ways that you could die. It's silly. I don't know how it's silly, but hey, let's go ahead and check it out. See what's going on. I ain't gonna waste too much time.
Mad Mike Hughes took to the sky in a makeshift steam engine rocket when suddenly something went wrong. Mike had wanted to see the Earth from a height of 1,525 meters, since he believed it's actually flat, and the government's just hiding this fact from us. In this footage, we can see the rocket adopt a curve-like trajectory, after which the landing parachutes accidentally open and detach from the vehicle during the launch stage. The rocket hit the ground and crashed, killing Mike.
Lord.
He'd assembled the rocket himself, apparently making serious engineering mistakes. In this video, I've gathered stories about the most extreme incidents with fatal consequences. Some of them seem incredible, but all have been taken from reliable sources. I warn you though, as always, viewer discretion is advised. August 2012, Montana, United States. On Highway 93 near Kalispell, a car hit some strange creature that unexpectedly appeared on the road.
It's Bigfoot.
Almost instantly, another vehicle crashed into it. The driver of the first car was a 15-year-old girl, and the second car was driven by a 17-year-old girl. When they rushed to help the creature, it turned out to be a man wearing a ghillie suit, a fancy camouflage costume. It's usually used by military hunters or paintball players. The suit makes a person invisible since, from the outside, it looks like an ordinary pile of leaves. The man's name was Randy Lee Tenley. He was 44 years old.
Man, what was you doing,
Randy? Randy wanted to impersonate a mythical creature, Bigfoot. That's why he put on the costume and wandered along the highway until someone would call 911 and inform them of a Bigfoot on the loose. The authorities believed the man was most likely drunk. Instead of making himself as conspicuous as possible, Randy was virtually invisible. That's why a Montana State Patrol police officer, Jim Schneider, ruled the two drivers to be innocent, since it was hardly possible to notice a person wearing such a costume right away. Sadly, Randy sustained injuries that were incompatible with life. Never walk on the highway if you're not wearing highly conspicuous clothing and even reflective elements during the night. The next story is yet another reminder that a desire to do something unusual can sometimes result in tragic consequences. April 2014, in St. Petersburg, Russia, a 17-year-old schoolgirl named Ksenia Ignatieva was standing on a railway bridge and contemplating the tracks converging in the distance. The girl decided to take a selfie against this background. She raised her phone and started moving it around in an attempt to catch a nice frame that fit both her and the railway tracks.
We know.
It was difficult since Ksenia wasn't tall enough. So she stood up on her toes, but suddenly lost balance and started falling right over the bridge railing. Panicking and trying to survive, the girl clutched onto some wire and was immediately hit with 1,500 volts. She fell onto the railway tracks and didn't show any signs of life. It's unknown if Ksenia would have survived had she not grabbed the electric wire, as the bridge was 9 meters tall. It's approximately the 3rd or 4th floor of a multi-story building. So you should always focus on your safety instead of the perfect shot. And of course, never touch any wires with your hands, no matter what kind of wire. Just never do it. Safety always comes first, regardless of whether you're trying to take the perfect photo or if it's another trophy you're after. April 6th, 2019. Kruger National Park, South Africa. 5 poachers have decided to hunt some rhinos. The fact that it's illegal didn't stop the men since, to them, a rhino horn was a valuable trophy they could sell for a ton of money.
Of course.
In 2017 alone, as many as 504 rhinoceroses were illegally poached in the park. The administration can't control every inch of the park's enormous territory. Even more so given the fact that visitors only get in on a guided safari, and poachers sneak in on foot. However, although before that fateful venture, the intruders' team used to be successful in everything, on that day, they heard someone's heavy steps behind their backs. It was an elephant. The giant animal attacked the poachers and knocked them off their feet. The elephant wouldn't back down. It assaulted one group member and kept stomping the man with its feet until he died. All of his colleagues were shocked. Those less injured pulled their dead friend's body off to the road, called the police
That's
to report
tough.
a tragic incident, and then escaped to avoid being caught for illegal activity. However, the man's remains were never found, and the only thing that remained of him were the skull and a piece of his pants.
Ugh.
When his poacher friends ran away, the smell of the flesh and blood attracted lions. The animals tore the corpse apart. Fate played an evil joke on the poacher. While trying to hunt down an animal, he became a victim himself. So you should always follow wildlife park rules and never wander off alone if you don't have a guide or know where a safe shelter is. It's better to abide by the law and safety rules, or an even more horrific story can happen to you. A story like the following one. August 1999, Newport Harbor, California. 17-year-old Kim Millett was
26
peeking
years
into
ago,
a
my
telescope in the driveway of her house, trying to spot the Perseid meteor shower. This cosmic phenomenon can only be seen once a year, in August. However, streetlights were obstructing Kim's view, and the cosmic show was just gonna start. Then, her big brother Scott came to help her.
Scott.
The guy thought nothing bad would happen if he turned off one streetlight near their house, so that his little sis would see the sky. So, Scott took his tools, opened the streetlight's body, and started messing with its inner electrical workings.
Man,
He
what
most
is wrong with
likely
you?
pulled out the inspection plate and then started cutting away at one of the exposed wires. Suddenly, Kim saw a bright flash of light, but it was no meteor shower. Her brother got electrocuted and fell onto the ground. Scott was lying by the lamppost unconscious, and when
Shaking
his
my
little
head.
sister ran up to him, he already wasn't breathing. Paramedics didn't manage to resuscitate Scott. Eventually, Millett didn't know the electrical circuits of the neighboring streets were also connected to the power current. This means that the energy in the wires was enough for 80 streetlights.
What?
That's a deadly 4,000 volts. Just imagine how powerful and painful this impact was for Scott, if it even left a pliers-shaped scar on his hand. Never tinker with any electrical systems
wild.
if you aren't properly authorized. The next story is also about the danger of trying to solve a problem alone without the help of specially trained people. September 1998, California. Hector Mendoza was screaming with joy, riding the sharp turns of a roller coaster. He was at Great America Amusement Park on a coaster named Top Gun. However, this ride was different from how we normally envision roller coasters. Its cars have no floor. Passengers get into large, separate seats and are held in place with safety belts, just like in a regular car. This enables visitors to swing their legs during movement. The ride happens at 80 kilometers per hour and lasts for 2 minutes and 26 seconds. After Mendoza got off the roller coaster, he noticed that while he was there, the wind had blown off his cap, and it was now lying somewhere on the tracks. He started explaining to the operators that he needed to go back and get it. The employees didn't understand Hector, as he only spoke Spanish. The operators tried to explain to the man that the only designated area where the visitors could approach the ride was at the entrance. Irritated, Mendoza brushed them off and walked away. But the story didn't end there. Later, Hector stealthily entered a door with a sign that read, "Employees Only," and made his
You
way
ain't no
toward the
employee.
roller coaster tracks. This door is typically only entered by specialists who check the ride when it's turned off, and there are no visitors. Crouching, Hector avoided the tracks and made for his cap. Meanwhile, the ride operators had already secured the next group of park guests on the coaster. One of them was Jessica Medina. The ride began. Suddenly, the woman started screaming, but it wasn't adrenaline she was screaming from. It was pain. She'd been swinging her legs so violently that she got a right leg bone fracture. The operators rushed to see what came in the way of the roller coaster's cars and were simply shocked to find dead Hector. When the man was standing right near the tracks, Jessica inadvertently hit him on the head at a great speed. He died on the spot. Never
That's
enter
tough.
restricted areas in amusement parks and always follow the
I heard one time, a man had went into a little restricted area trying to get his hat. It was trying to play a prank on somebody, and he got decapitated because somebody's leg hit him in the head. Y'all better stop going in them little restricted areas in amusement parks. Y'all better stop playing.
operator's instructions.
Unless you ready to die, you ready to meet God. Man, look.
Responsible for your safety. Sometimes the desire to retrieve something we've lost can cause devastating results.
See what I just said?
Just like in the next creepy story. August 2010, Bakersfield, California. An aquarium fish caretaker entered the Moody family home. Right away, the girl felt a strange, pungent odor.
That's a nice little crib, man. I like that. Feel me? Got the little, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. TV up there. Nice little, man, I like that. Can I move in with y'all? Let me stop.
She started looking for its source and got to the fireplace. When she took a peek inside, the girl nearly fainted. A woman was stuck in the chimney. The lady turned out to be Jacqueline Kodarak.
Girl, what you doing in the chimney?
William Moody was having a secret affair with Jacqueline. The relationship was far from simple, too.
Really?
Although the lovers were hiding their passionate love, some locals still knew about them and told the investigation later that the two were constantly splitting and getting back together. On the day of the incident, the pair had likely fought again, and William didn't want to talk to Jacqueline. Some witnesses report having seen the woman at a bar drinking alone and being down in the dumps, after which she got up and walked somewhere hastily. As it turned out, Jacqueline wanted to discuss everything with William, so she went to his house, knowing he was there alone. However, her lover wouldn't let the woman in. Then Jacqueline found a shovel somewhere and used it to dig her way under the fence. The door of the house was still locked. However, the woman persevered and climbed a ladder to the roof, took off the chimney cap, and started making her way down, legs first. Meanwhile, William had already escaped to avoid confrontation with his mistress. Regarding Jacqueline, she got stuck 60 centimeters from the fireplace's main opening. The poor woman could neither inhale nor exhale. It's unclear if she'd been calling for her beloved to help her, and how quickly she died of asphyxia, since Jacqueline's body wasn't found by the pet fish caretaker until 3 days after she'd crawled into the chimney.
Wow.
Don't attempt breaking into other people's houses,
something about 3
as
days.
it can have deadly consequences. There are even more horrific stories of inattention turning out to be fatal. July 13, 1997, Virginia. 22-year-old Eric Barcia was working at a fast food place and was an extreme enthusiast. The guy wanted to do bungee jumping. For some reason, though, Eric decided to organize everything alone.
You ain't gonna never see me doing that.
It's unknown whether no such activity was available in his area, or the man just wanted to prove he can construct something by himself. I only know that Eric tied together some bungee cords, which turned out a bit shorter than 21 meters. That was the height of the railroad trestle in Lake Ecotink Park. Eric knew his fall would have to stop at a short distance from the ground, after which the rope would bounce. He tied one end of the bungee cord around his legs, attached the other to the bridge railing, and jumped. Yet the cords didn't stop him above the ground. If Eric hadn't been a novice, he would have known how to correctly calculate it. The gap he'd left was too small, and when the ropes stretched, Eric hit the cobblestone pavement. The guy died on the spot. Never attempt to recreate extreme activities by yourself. Leave that to professionals who, unlike you, are aware of all the nuances and abide by the universal safety standards. Although professionals aren't immune to making fatal mistakes either. July 9th, 1993, Toronto, Ontario. Gary Hoy, a Canadian lawyer, was leading a
Seemed like a whole bunch of throwbacks. 19. Where my 2000s at? Hey.
Tour around the Toronto Dominion Centre skyscraper for a group of students who were also planning to become lawyers. Gary specialized in corporate law and construction standards compliance. The lawyer had a shtick. He liked demonstrating the sturdiness of the windows in the building of his law firm, Holden Day Wilson. Gary would also do a run-up and slam against the window to show it was secure and wouldn't break.
You like to run up to the window just to show that it wouldn't break?
He'd done this stunt many times before and always remained unscathed. This time, he ran to the window again in front of a suitable audience. The glass withstood him, but the frame did not. It flew out of the wall, taking the glass and Gary along. All of this was happening on the 24th floor. The lawyer didn't survive. This came as a great shock for the students and Gary's fellow employees. The incident led to the demise of Holden Day Wilson Law Firm in 1996. Hoy's experience was featured in numerous TV shows, including Mythbusters and 1000 Ways to Die. It's better not to tempt fate, even if you've done something dangerous hundreds of times already and have been lucky so far. But the previous story wasn't the most horrific outcome of spontaneous decisions. It's May 2018. The district of Odisha, India. An elite taxi driver, Prabhu Buttar, was taking his passengers home from a wedding. He made a stop in the Nabarangpur district and went behind a hill near the road to urinate. There, Prabhu saw a wounded sloth bear. The driver decided to take a selfie with the animal. His passengers tried to talk him out of it, but Prabhu didn't listen. Suddenly, the sick animal regained consciousness and attacked the man. The footage shows that the passengers ran to help Prabhu, but were afraid to approach the scene, realizing that the bear could hurt them too. They threw sticks and stones at the animal, but their efforts were in vain. Someone that didn't fear the bear was an average stray dog. It ran up to the predator, growled at it, and even bit the wild animal.
Shout out to the dog.
Didn't help though, as the bear was much larger. Buttar died on the spot, and the bear was taken to the vet to get its wounds treated. This may seem weird to you. The question might arise in your mind, why wasn't the bear put down?
That's what I'm saying.
However, the bear didn't mess with the man first. The animal was just protecting itself. That's why you should never come close to wild animals, as they see this as a threat and will attack you, even if you weren't going to. I'll leave links to all these incredible stories below so you don't think I made them up. Unfortunately, they happened in real life.
Yeah, that's wild. I ain't gonna lie to you, my boy. Go ahead and comment what y'all think the craziest one was, man. Like up the video, man. Like up the video. Y'all better stop playing around with life like it can't be taken away from you in a second. Man, use your head, my boy. Much love, much love.